Good morning, everyone. So I was thinking about this while I was working out. I was actually listening to the Ramsey show, and somebody called in and they were asking about when do you start talking to your kids about money? When do you start talking to them about like in terms of you dying and leaving a will and how much money you're leaving to them and all that stuff. So I wanted to throw that out to you guys, especially my seasoned aunties and uncles. At what age do you start telling your kids that, okay, it's a possibility that something could happen and mom and dad could pass away? So you have to know that there's a will, you have to know that there's money somewhere, you have to know all that stuff. At what age do you start telling your kids? Now, I grew up in a family where, and I'm gonna be open, we didn't talk about money. It was almost, I grew up with this feeling as if money was a taboo. I had a love-hate relationship with money because money was always something that, I don't know how to put it. It was always something that was like, you don't talk about it, you don't ask for it, you don't, it's like a none of your business kind of thing. I don't know how to put it. But we never really talked about money. I was always nervous around money. I grew up always being nervous around money, always waiting for the time when I have my own money and I can make a decision on how I'm gonna spend my own money. I always felt indebted to money. I don't know how you can say it. If you feel indebted to money, like you feel like there's no money, but you know there's money. Yeah, so that's how I grew up. So I had this love and hate relationship with money, and that was something that I and my husband talked about before we got married. We really strived not to let our children feel that way. He grew up where he knew there wasn't money and that is it, and he grew up where he knew there was money and there was money and it was given out, so we come from different areas in our life, different lifestyles. So merging all that, I'm so happy that my husband and I, we have the same understanding when it comes to money. We've created our own family understanding around money. So come to talking about my kids in terms of the will, in terms of all that stuff, we actually talked to them about it this year. So let me tell you, this year my daughter turned 20 and my youngest turned 16. If you know my youngest daughter, you know that she is a very smart girl and she's someone that I'm not seeing as a child. Like, if you thought that, oh, I have this amount of money, I'll be afraid to sleep at night thinking my child is going to attack me. That was what one of the people on the Dave Ramsey show said. They were like, oh, they were nervous about telling their kids about money because they're like, they don't know what their kids will do to them. How can you be nervous about telling your kids about stuff? But there has to be an age whereby we say, this is the age that we're going to tell our kids about money. And that age is what I wanted to discuss. Is it something that you all have thought about and you've like, this is when I'm going to start telling my kids about money, about will, about investment. Now, about investment and stuff. We've taught our kids about that since they were little. My kids, since they were little, they were already saving their money little by little. We taught them about wants and needs, about, there's something called, do I want this or do I just need it? Okay, so that aspect, we got that covered up. We're good with that. We're not someone that our kids don't know the difference between I want this. Before my kids buy something, they analyze. Both my kids have Roth IRA, so they have savings account. They don't have savings account, they have Roth IRA, they have 529, they have all that stuff. So I'm a parent that we are very proactive in their financial independence. Being girls, we don't want them to grow up where they are just dependent on other people. We want them to grow up knowing their worth. We want them growing up knowing that they can achieve something because they did it by themselves. And that is very important to us. So it's really important that we talk to our kids about money. Now, me coming from a Nigerian family, Yoruba, I'm Ijesha. Enough said. Lots of stuff against me already about, because of my culture, because of where I'm from, my ethnicity. When we talk about money, okay, people in my culture, they know people from my area of town in terms of money. Yeah, but I don't have that situation. If I have it, I give. If I don't have it, I don't have it. So money has always been, let me be honest with you, money, as growing up, as far as I can remember, let me put on my mascara, as far as I can remember, money has always been a touchy conversation. It has been a conversation that nearly broke up a relationship that I had with someone really close to me, because I just didn't understand how this person could just be so disregarded of money in that aspect. They can be disregarded. So I just want to make sure that my kids grow up with an healthy relationship with money. So that's why my husband and I, we started talking to the kids earlier on about money, earlier on about, you know, investment. So one thing that you realize, I'm gonna be open with you guys, your kids are gonna find out, they're gonna actually know how much you make eventually. Growing up, I never knew how much my parents made. Did I care? Not really. But the kids nowadays, they're gonna grow up, they're gonna know how much you make, like kind of a ballpark figure. One reason could be, and if you're someone that you're so secure, you don't want your kids to know, it's fine. But when your kids are filling out the form for scholarships, they're trying to get into scholarships, they're trying to get into colleges, they're trying to do all that stuff, they have to know how much you make, because a lot of them are based on income. So the very first day that when my daughter was filling out her FAFSA, which is a federal, you know, for federal loan for college, so that you can take loan for college, so that you can, you know, the kid can get student loan. That's another discussion for another day. If you guys want to talk to me, if you guys want me to tell you how we can afford to pay for my kids' 4-year college, let me know. That's a discussion. And the payment for our college, we actually start saving up from that since she was 1 year old. Yeah, and I'll teach you how to do it. If you guys want, leave a comment, let me know. But we had to fill out all these forms, and my daughter wanted to get into all this scholarship, and we know that some scholarships she couldn't get into because of her income. So she had to ask us, because she was filling out some of these scholarships, she's filling them out at school, because she joined this club at school, and the club lets them know what scholarships are out there. So, and you know, they have to have social security number. All that stuff needs to be filled out. So you can't just fake it. You can't just say, oh, I make 50,000, just write 50,000. No. It's against the federal laws. You have to be honest about it. So that's one of the things that we as parents, we have to let our kids know. So early on so my youngest daughter, she's 16, she's doing the same thing now. She's trying to get scholarship and stuff. And so she's asking, she sent me a message, she was like, how much does daddy make? How much do you make? And that was the first time that we had to actually tell her that, okay, this is how much we make. You can qualify for this scholarship, or you can't qualify for this scholarship. So discussion about money with your kids has to be age appropriate, number one. So when they're little, I'll say start off by first teaching them about wants and needs. Start off at first telling them, you know, do you want, you know, you go to a toy store, they're like, I want that, but do you really need it? Do you really need it? So you start off with conversations like that. That kind of gets them prepared. Then when they get to an age where you are giving them allowances, you already teach them how to use their money in a healthy way, with their allowances and stuff. You teach them that aspect of it. and you move on. As they get older, you add on to it, and I believe for us that is what has helped us. So now my oldest daughter, she's working, she's in school, she has her own apartment, and she's this is what I'm using as a blush. Very, very cute. Yeah, I love it. So she has her own apartment, she's paying rent. So the other day she was like, she was going to pay her rent. She was like, oh, I got her, and she's writing checks to pay off her rent and stuff. And so she's like, oh, all this money, I gotta pay rent and stuff. And yeah, I'm like, yeah, you gotta pay rent, but of course we're the ones, we give her the money for the rent. She just has to write the check and stuff, and it's paid off. So overall, you have to know what is the age appropriate, how much you should tell your kids. When you tell your kids about your will and stuff, I will say it's important that you let them know when they come of age. I'm saying come of age. We picked age 20. We just picked age 20, once they get out of the teens. That's what we picked. But since we told the older daughter, we kind of told the younger daughter in a little more, not out everything, telling her everything. But the older sister, because if something happens to her younger sister, she's an adult now, she's in charge. But we also have other people. But these are conversations that we need to be having. These are conversations that we need to be having that people don't have. These are conversations that mothers need to be having with daughters and sons. Fathers have to be having with daughters and sons. Both parents have to be having. But our culture, we don't tell kids. Kids don't know much about money. They just know, mommy, I want money for this. Oh yeah, go into my purse, go and get the money. Shouldn't be like that. Okay, let's have a conversation in the comment area. Talk to you all later. Bye.